Why, hello there. And today we are doing predictions for match week number 3 of the 2022 to 23 EFL Championship. That's right, Watford with a point in the game against West Brom on Monday night. A very disappointing performance, but ultimately we'll take that result. It's a big smash and grab with West Brom being so dominant. We're looking really poor in that game and just not even to get out of our half most of the game. So, what a goal from Ismail Assar. However, he is being linked to make a move to Leeds United and I'm worried. But at the end of the day, it was inevitable. It was always going to happen and I'm happy for him. So, let's see if Dennis goes as well, which is probably going to be the case. It's kind of an impending doom. We knew this was going to happen, but let's see what happens with, maybe trying to get in a replacement before the window shuts. But predicting this match week, let's get into it. We've got Watford against Burnley. In the last video, I, of course, predicted these two games, or these two teams, I should say. I'm trying to find my book, but it's not around, so I will go with the flow. Watford, obviously, against West Brom, I predicted a 2-1 Watford win. And then Burnley, obviously, they had that match-up between themselves and Luton, and I thought Burnley would win, but Luton with a point in the end. So, good result for them. But ultimately, I think Watford, with that very battling point against West Brom at home as well, I think they're just going to edge this one. I mean, I'm being hopeful, but I think Burnley were quite wasteful against Luton, so hopefully we can kind of make advantage of that. So Watford 2, Burnley 1. It's going to be tight, but I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet with how many chances we kind of gave up against West Brom. Burnley are a good side. There's no doubting that under Vincent Kompany. But I think we are hopefully on our day stronger. So goal scorers, the first one will be scored by Burnley. So we concede the first goal in a game for the first time this season. And that is a goal coming from midfielder for Burnley, Scott Twine. But then Watford show character and get the Vicarage Road stand bouncing, the Anne Swanson stand, the Rookery and all of that lovely stuff with goals coming on. So Twine scores, say, 32 minutes. And then second half, Watford come out a different team, a different animal, and they thoroughly deserve to get 3 points because they score goals in the 65th minute. The first one, it's a nice goal from Dan Gosling. And then the next one, the winner, scored on 86 minutes. Oh yes, it's João Pedro. Thanks for watching. No, I'm not finished yet. Moving on to the next game, it's Cardiff against Birmingham. Now, Cardiff's last game was, of course, that defeat to Reading, which they're going to be disappointed by. Reading looked like a team that were going to flirt with relegation this season, but it was a good result from Reading, to be fair to them, and Ovie Ejaria got a nice assist for my fantasy, so I'll take that. But ultimately, it was not great, but nice goal for Shane Long from the penalty spot, and Tom Ince, what a strike from the son of the Reading manager, of course, Paul Ince. So they've got a good, interesting game this week, Cardiff. They'll try and bounce back from that defeat against Birmingham. I think they should win, though. 2-0 to Cardiff is my prediction. Sunderland Qpr. Now, this is a 1-0 Sunderland, in my opinion, with the home fans. Look, QPR, they are going to be a good side this season, and they did beat Middlesbrough with a wonder goal from Willock. Not quite as good as Sar's against West Brom, but it's still good enough. But I think Sunderland this season looked really good. Obviously, Ellis Sims with 2 goals on his debut against Bristol City. And I think it's going to be a narrow one, but 1-0 Sunderland against QPR. Then Millwall Coventry. Obviously, Coventry last week with a very, very interesting match. Well, or so it would have been against Rotherham. And then it got postponed because of the bad pitch due to the Rugby Sevens match at the Commonwealth. So, not great scheduling there. But, Coventry are back in action at least. And they can try and get some more points after that opening day result where they did well and they looked pretty good, to be fair, against Sunderland, but only the points. So they'll have their first kind of go at repeating that. But I think Millwall are a very good side this season. They look stronger. And despite the defeat to Sheffield United, I think they looked really good on the opening day. So Charlie Cresswell to score and Millwall to win 2-0. Then we've got Hull against Norwich. I think Norwich last week were a bit wasteful against Wigan. And I think defensively a bit shaky. So I think Hull are going to hold them to a draw, 1-1. Then Blackpool Swansea. Now, obviously Swansea last week destroyed by Blackburn Rovers, and Swansea are struggling at the minute. But I think they can bounce back to at least a point this week. Blackpool, they look okay. I mean, they lost to Stoke but they also looked quite stubborn on the opening day with getting that Reading win. So I think Blackpool will get a 1-1 draw here with Swansea, just as Swansea did away to Rotherham a few weeks ago. And then Luton Preston, I think Preston are honestly a team that this season are really struggling just for creativity and just scoring goals. And Luton, on the other hand, they look quite decent, and that was a good point for them against Burnley. So I think Luton will just about win 1-0. Rotherham Reading, obviously Rotherham didn't play last week, but Reading, good win against Cardiff. So I think they'll follow it up with a win. Rotherham 0, Reading 2. Then it's Huddersfield Stoke. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I think this has got draw written all over it. Wigan, Bristol City. Now, Bristol City defeated by Sunderland, obviously, and Wigan with a great point up at Carrow Road. So I think Wigan are going to build on that and win this game 2-1. Then it's Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, obviously the former side for Chris Wilder, who I think is going to do well this season. But Middlesbrough have been a bit underwhelming in the first kind of couple of games. To lose to QPR was not great, and then obviously the matchup in game week 1 was a tough one against West Brom, but they didn't get the result. So I think Middlesbrough are finally going to win and dent Sheffield United's hopes with a 1-0 victory at home. And finally, Blackburn against West Brom. These are two very good sides, and two sides that are pretty much going for promotion this year. Blackburn, top of the table, great start. West Brom obviously played well against Watford, but were wasteful. So I think Blackburn will have the edge here. 1-0 victory for the home side, Blackburn Rovers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.